I am so excited about today's video because I get this question non-stop and I hate that I can't respond to each and every one of you. I am finally going to show you how I take my close-up pictures on an iPhone. A lot of people don't realize that I do take my pictures on a phone, which is awesome because I feel like I am the world's worst influencer. I don't know how I figured out how to do it. It's just something I've been doing for over 3 years now, and it's just been a trial and error learning process. So I figure if I can give back to you guys the way you give to me and show you how I take my pictures and help even one person out there, then I'll have done my job, because I'm a big believer in what you put out there comes back to you, and I'm not afraid to share any of my secrets or tricks and tips because I think there's enough success for everybody, and I love to help people. And yeah, I am not professional though. Keep that in mind. But not all of us can afford fancy stuff. I know I can't. I've made it way farther than I ever expected to make it with a phone and a ring light. But yeah, I want to help anyone that I can help. And if there are any questions at the end that I don't answer, please let me know. I don't have any secrets. I will tell you whatever you want to know if I can. And yeah, I'm going to start by showing you my ring light, because the first thing I will say is that lighting is everything. So I'm going to show you how I set that up, how I hold my phone, and then after that I will get into editing. I'm even thinking I'd like to do another video after this about like how I grew my following on Instagram, like what hashtags to use, how to get recognition from brands, and that kind of stuff. So if that sounds interesting, let me know and I can definitely do that. Or if you feel like this stuff is common knowledge and I am explaining something that millions of people have explained, then let me know as well so that I don't waste my time, because this is such hard work for me. Please don't slap me in the face this time. Lego! What is this? Okay, now that Lego has stopped by, let's get into showing you how I take my pictures. Okay, so here she is, the star of the show, my ring light. This one I got on Amazon. I'll link it in the down bar below and also mention how much it was, but I want to say it was like around $100, maybe a little more. Originally I had the one that was a bulb, so it has like a whole round light bulb that goes around, but the downside about that was that I couldn't dim it, and also I kept knocking this over. My kids would tip it over, I would tip it over, the bulb would break, and then I'd have to pay all this money just to replace the bulb. So finally I just invested in the LED one. So with the LED, it's got these little, let's turn it down, little dots, which are kind of cute. But I've knocked this bad boy over 100 times, doesn't ever damage it. And yeah, you can make it brighter. Let me blind you real quick. Super, super bright. Dim it down. And I will mention that I had to buy this stand and this little guy that holds a camera separately, so make sure you buy all of them or you'll just be stuck with this. Since I do everything with a phone, I don't actually put a camera on here, but let me show you what I do use it for. This little square mirror. Hi. I prop it up just like this, and this is how I'm going to be able to see myself when I do my pictures. Okay, so my lighting's pretty bad because obviously I'm using my lighting to show you how to use lighting, so just bear with me here. The very first thing I do is I put my ring light in front of a big window, and I'm not going to open this all the way because I don't want my neighbors to think I'm absolutely nuts, but I just open the blinds. Come on. And then I like to put my ring light so that I have the ring light in front of me and the light to the side. I don't love taking pictures at night, but I do if I need to. But yeah, anytime I can be by a window, that's even better because natural light is just so beautiful and there's not a really great way that I know of to recreate it. So this is what I do. Okay, sorry, this is really hard because I'm filming this on a phone, but I need you to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm kind of holding it with my left hand and trying to show you how to take the picture with my right, but bear with me. So I have my face pretty close to the ring light, and then I've got my mirror down here, and then I've got the open window to my side. So I'll actually, since usually I have two hands to do this, I'll use one hand to kind of hold up my eyelid, which you'll see when I'm editing my picture. You'll see my hand holding up my eyebrow. And you don't have to do that, but if you have saggy lids like I do, then you're gonna want to, just to show off all the eyeshadow. But then I take my camera and I always use my back camera The front camera does not look as good, and you don't want any sort of filters on this. Just let it be raw, and I just hold it up like that. And then I can kind of, usually I'm propping up my eyelid with my fingers, and then I use this mirror that's propped up to be able to see what I'm doing, and I can take pictures. And I'm actually gonna show you my stupid room that's not very cute, and just to show you what a big difference the natural lighting makes. Isn't that so much better? And yes, that is a full-size Iron Man behind me. And yes, that is Chick-fil-A on my messy vanity. Anyway, this isn't a room tour. So, where am I? Once you've got your angles and everything, I just take so many pictures. Like, I mean, when you take selfies, you take a whole bunch and then pick the best one. Same idea. I like to move my ring light around, kind of get different lighting angles. Also, when I have my eye up, I'll sometimes look back, I'll sometimes look down, I'll sometimes look up. Just depends on which angle complements the eye look that I've done more. Right now I'm really into the up and then looking back to the side, especially at the window, because then you get the cool reflection in your eye, and I really like that for some reason. I'll throw up a picture here maybe. Hopefully I can figure this out to show you what I'm talking about with the reflection in the eye. But I mean, that's just little stuff that I've learned from doing this for so long. So once you have all those pictures and you go through and you pick out your very favorite one, that's when we're gonna go to editing. And the only question I get almost as much as how I take my pictures is, how do I edit my photos? And the secret is Facetune. Big surprise. I think pretty much everyone uses Facetune on the internet to some degree, and I'll get a little more into my thoughts and opinions on it when I show you. I'm going to screen record me Facetuning one of my pictures. But yeah, that's what I use. That's all I use. I don't use any other apps or whatever. I use my phone for everything, that one application. And yeah, let's get into that right now. Okay, so since I obviously have no shame anymore after showing you my room, I'm just gonna record in front of my bed for this part. I guess what I wanna say before I start the recording of me editing my photos is I don't think there's any shame in editing your photos. I think it's actually part of the art of taking a photo, and I don't think anyone deserves a special medal for not editing their photos. The reason I started was because I would do these awesome eye looks and either the lighting would be off or the colors would come out more bland or it would look patchy when it wasn't, or maybe I had a zit that day. Any of those little things where I feel like you're just enhancing what you've done. The time when it becomes a problem is when you're editing on makeup or when you're completely changing everything or making colors look more vibrant than they are. That's when it becomes an issue. And I feel like when you do get Facetune for the first time, at least I know when I got it for the first time, it felt like a miracle. So I went so overboard. And I know everyone's seen those pictures that are just blended, like blurred to filth and overly edited, and they do like the detail tool on the eyes so much that they don't even look real. And you're like, girl, we know that's not real. So I strongly advise that you try and keep it more subtle and just kind of keep it more true to how it looks. But I mean, you do you. I just think there's a fine line between I don't edit my photos at all and this isn't even a real photo. So I'm gonna, first of all, I'm gonna scoot over and make some room for Jesus. Not really, I'm gonna scoot over and make some room so that I can hopefully put the screen recording up here. Okay, so we are officially screen recording, and yes, my battery is about to die, and yes, I have some emails and stuff I need to look at, but we are going to go straight to Facetune, and this is the picture we're going to be working on. So as you can see, I have the fingers holding up my eyelid, just like I said. A lot of people ask if I do both eyes, and I think that's the funniest question, because why would I do both eyes if I'm just posting a picture of one eye? If you know about Facetune, you could probably just skip through this part and get to me showing how I edit, but here in Retouch, we've got one of my very favorite tools, which is Cleanse. And I'm gonna zoom in and show you, if you can see these black speckles there, you just go over that and it's going to kind of, like if you have really bad blackheads or anything, this is just gonna take them away. So I like to just do this around the outside. Another thing, this doesn't apply to every picture, but with my eye pictures, I'm not advertising foundation of any sorts, so I don't care if I edit my skin a little more than I do the eye. The focus is on the eyeshadow and the eye look, so that I want to keep natural, but if there is blemishes or pores or anything, I feel fine getting rid of those. So the next thing I would do is go to Vibrance, and I'm just gonna go all the way over this pink red part so you can see. And then once you have that on there, you get this little scale where you can tone it down or make it bright. So there's it going back and forth. So if the colors don't look as vibrant, I like to add a little bit of that in. And sometimes I'll even add a little bit. I know my eye looks gross because I have like eyeliner flecks in it. But I'll add that there. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else I like in here. Details is fun. This is where people will go in on their eyeball and just do details way too much like this. And then it just looks absolutely ridiculous. You see that? There's the before and after. Yeah, so I'll do a little bit, but not so much because I think it's just absolutely crazy. Smooth is the one that people also overdo a ton, but I will do a little bit like on my skin because like I said, if it's not about the skin, then I don't mind because I feel like it makes it less distracting. But I don't want to sit here and smooth out like my eyeshadow because then we're just going to have this situation where it looks super blended and oh my gosh, that blend, when really that's what it looks like before. So let's erase that, and I think that looks good in these tools. There's so many, I mean, you can watch a YouTube video about how to use Facetune. I just kind of more want to show you how I edit my pictures. There's so many and I can't go over all of them. Now I'm going to go into Reshape, and this is where I'll fix my eyebrow a little bit. In Reshape, I like to go to Refine. Reshape itself will move stuff like this, whereas Refine will move like a spot. So what I'll do is like, say this heart is a little, it's a little too long, so we can push it up like this. Not too much, but just because the curvature of my lid made it look a little funky, we can kind of straighten out some lines a little bit. And then let's also fix my eyebrow just a touch, make this line more straight. And this refine tool is nice if your eyebrow's too long, because like once I crop this into a square, sometimes the eyebrow's a little bit too long to where the picture isn't cropped where I like, so I can just scoot my eyebrow in a little bit, if that makes sense. I'm not going to do it with this picture, but that's what I like to do there. Another tool I love is the patch tool. This is when you have a zit or a fleck, like these flecks in my eyes that are so gross, or even this lash that kind of came in front of my eye. I can just drag the patch tool along there, turn it to 0, and kind of patch that just right off. Just gotta find a good spot for it. Even that, it looks a little crazy, but when you zoom out, you can't really tell. So like the speck here can be gone. You can go up into your brow and see these little hairs growing in. Get rid of those little specks. And then I can see these little eyeshadow flecks in my brow, so I'll patch those off if they're big enough to notice. Whoops. Okay, once I've done all the patching I want to do, I will go to Adjust. This is one of the major ones I use. This is where you're going to get to change all your lighting. So brightness will go up and down. You can see that. Put that at 0. Contrast. I mean, these are things we've all learned. Sharpen. Whoa. Light's a nice one. See, temperature, if it's too cool or too warm, you can adjust that. So that's about as much time as I want to spend on showing you how I edit. I feel like from here it's just going to be playing around with the app and finding out what works for you. But I will just strongly recommend keeping in mind not to go too crazy. Try and keep it true to what it looks like. And then here I'll show you once I crop it. Here is the final result. So from this to this. And I feel like the crop is where the magic really happens because it takes out this nasty bandana and my fingers holding up my lid and my roots that need to be colored, and now it's this beautiful Valentine's neon look. That's where I would go to post on Instagram, and from there I have a lot of advice on how to like get brands to notice you, what hashtags to use, when to post, all that kind of stuff, but I think I'm going to save that for a second video. So if you guys liked this and you feel like it was helpful and you would like the second video of me talking about how I grew my Instagram following and how I get on PR lists and all that kind of stuff, let me know. I hope I helped. If I need a follow-up video, let me know. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!